Hey,
Hello.
welcome back to the Destiny of Your Soul. We've got Kyle Spreedes here, author of Decide Your Destiny, which is a bestseller, and the custodian of the Decide Your Destiny movement. And then you've got me, Angela Talent, with her book, my book, her book, Poems from a Lost Soul. Yeah. And I'm also the host of the Relatively Damaged podcast. So welcome to the show today. We are so glad you came. This is going to be an interesting episode for sure.
I love that. That's what a treat. I'm curious. What's going to happen next?
Well, exactly, because we're talking about breaking down big goals. And the last time we were on the show, it was Write a Poem Live for me.
Yes. Yeah.
And I invited people to come and help.
That's for the next threshold, you know. The next threshold of your creativity juices of what you can achieve, isn't it? It was paused. But yeah, so hello.
Something happened. I don't know why. It shouldn't happen. It's my side. It maybe because my phone on Wi-Fi. It was sucking all the energy.
I got to take over. So what Angela meant to say was, yeah. So do you want to kind of lead into live where that all came about and yeah.
Well,
feelings that brought up.
We did chapter 17, and then the idea was, we were talking about those great big goals, making big goals, which we talk about a lot. But this chapter, the question that is being answered is how to break down big goals. And so I think we decided that it was a good idea I think you decided it was a fantastic idea to challenge me. Say that again?
I said throwing it back on me. I'll see how it is.
I accepted it. I took it. I said, yeah, I will do that. Challenge accepted. So here we are.
Yes.
We are here.
And it's when would you like to do it? Do you want to start it off straight off the bat? Would you like to ease into the water? Jump straight in or ease in?
Well, so what I was thinking is I copied a bunch of quotes, probably too many. But what I was thinking is
more is better.
What we could do is I could go through these quotes, and then maybe if there were words that you liked or that they were calling to you, that then that you could just note those down as I read through these quotes. All of them except for one is from your book.
Could have done it again to me. See how this works? It pulls me back out.
It's not a bad thing. There's only one quote from another book, and it's because it hit home for the topic. So basically, just pick out some words that you think are interesting or call to you, cool. And we'll see what we can do as far as the poem. I guess we shall go for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love this.
So, This is so fun, interesting doing it live. Okay, so the first quote was, "How do I sustain a higher purpose throughout the course of my life?" The next one, and I'm saying the next one because these are all from your book, but they're not, and they are sequential, but they're not like right behind each other in the book.
Okay.
How do I make sure that I'm not fooling myself by complaining about how much I have done? How do I bounce back seamlessly through disappointment and discouragement? With the quote-unquote break it down method, you will take your goals and break them down layer by layer, brick by brick. We dismiss what we cannot make sense of. So what do we do with such a mammoth goal if we haven't even come close to it previously? If your goal is too lofty to begin with, move your effort, resources, creativity, and figure it out muscle to meet that goal head on. Don't get too clever with your goals and try to outsmart them by bringing them closer in range. This will cause you to create a bad habit of lowering the bar to fit your fragile ego. Expand yourself with every ounce of effort to hit that bar. If you don't have a specific goal that's attached to a specific number, that's fine. You just want to find a way of keeping track of progress. You want to find a way of measuring. It's hard to commit to something when you don't know what it is. So whatever your target is, I want you to break it down and get specific and real about what it is going to take and also what's at stake. Without the information, without the specific breakdown, you are shooting in the dark, and it can be maddening. I want you to smell it, taste it, feel it, sense it in your day. Always keep this eager to receive insights attitude close by, and then you will have control over your actions, disciplines, self-respect, and consistency, which will see you all the way through to achieving your goals. This unwelcome advice does not sit well with me. It wasn't my ego that was triggered, but rather within my soul, an alarm went off to signify that this was incorrect information from a confused, lost soul. I am invincible. I am my soul. I am what was before this place, and I will continue through what comes after this place. Why do we share what's in the junkyard so liberally and keep what's in the treasure chest locked down away from improving anyone's life? What's that about? To have environments of greatness, we need to start by putting greatness into those environments. Are you inspired to join me on this mission? And this is the last quote from your book. This quote from Epictetus, I think I said that right, yeah? Okay. Landed on my doorstep. I read, "You're a little soul carrying around a corpse." And it unbuckled my being. I crumbled and I cried. I cried for all of the right reasons. I felt a sense of relief and a finding of where I previously was, lost in these mind-controlling emotional tyrannies. And this quote I pulled from Awe by Dasher Keltner. Said, "All things are animated by a vital life force, spirit, or shared substance. Impermanence is assumed, calling all little living forms are in flux, always changing, being born and dying from the first moment of life to its end." Those are all the quotes.
Whoa. That last one. And so you want me to pull words from each one of those quotes?
Yeah, just give me some words. I'm gonna
okay.
Hang on a second while I prepare my phone so I can use my finger to take notes.
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. Like who has a harder job? So I think sustenance or sustaining. Was it
sustenance or sustaining?
I think worthy ideal.
Worthy what? You said worthy.
ideal, like a worthy ideal, like a worthy ideal goal.
Okay.
Making sure measurable is another goal you can measure. You can by your steps towards your goal.
Say something before. I didn't hear right before steps.
So you can
quantify steps before goal, right?
Correct. And you can qualify that you're kind of like a tick. Yes, I am moving in the right direction, which I think is so important. I don't know if I wrote this in there, but I think a lot of the words was certainty.
Certainty?
I think the goals, when you break them down, they give you certainty of your action. And I think also certainty.
Also certainty of what?
Of thinking. Certainty of decision making. So many of us, we're like, what's the next step? Step. And then when you achieve a goal, like I know with the book, it's like, oh, okay, what now? Sort of, in my mind, I just climbed Everest to get this, push this. What's the next? There's that kind of lull. It's like, you catch the wave, or you let the wave go by, and then you've got that lull, and then your mind is curious and active. What's the next? For a moment, you think it's not coming, like nothing's going to come. The depths of the ocean, and then all of a sudden, this mountain comes out of the depths of the ocean. I think that's a bit of waves providing a backdrop of goals in life.
Right.
Now, probably not helping.
Okay. Yeah. No, we've got a lot of great words. The really interesting thing, I think, for me is going to be verbalizing what this process is, because it's very much an internal. So right now, the reason I decided to have you pick out words from those quotes is because that would have been my first step. Okay, which words are really important to me? Which ones give me this feeling of importance, right? And so for me, I'm going to
makes poems so powerful.
It might be. Yeah. But one of the big words for me was actually that word impermanence from the very last quote. Because I think it's super easy, especially with cosmic goals, to we're talking about the wave coming and then not catching the wave, or it's not even there, and then all of a sudden you've got this massive wave. Like remembering, if I'm in the lull, it's impermanent. It's not always going to be that way. So I'm going to add that word. Okay. And I think we've got so we've got sustenance or sustaining. We've got worthy ideals, ideal goals, measurable goals, quantifying steps before a goal, which qualify that you're moving in the right direction. There's a sense of feeling of certainty of action, certainty of decision making. Perhaps it makes making the decision a lot easier, right? And then what happens after achieving the goal? staying curious and active, and then think nothing's going to come, and then there it is, and that's that impermanence.
Yeah. I like that. One other thing I just love, backing into the corner, back into when you said certainty of decision making or easier decision making is almost, well, I'm just going to back into I got the goal there. I know it's a worthy ideal. I'm here. I'm into this. There might not be clear decisions along the way, and might not always be backing into this. I'm backing myself into this goal.
Right.
Yeah,
right. So I'm thinking about that, like with my values. If I know my values, then my decisions are easier. It doesn't mean they're always clear, but they're easier.
Yeah.
And so you're saying the same type of thing happens with goals.
Yep.
If your goal is to be a best-selling author like you are, then making a decision to spend extra time doing X, Y, and Z is that much easier because you know your goal.
Yeah, I'd say sense of importance. Like, yeah, it's because it might not necessarily be easier. It might get confusing along the road. Like, oh my god, like, how do you even do it? Like, oh my god, do I feel comfortable promoting that? Like, does it help? Does it get all those voices? So it might not be easy, but you bring a sense of importance to the task. I think that's even if you're deliberating about it and stressing about it. Hey, shit! This must be something important.
I'm gonna put that down. Even stress can be important.
Yeah. If you got a tiger running at you, you better get stressed out. I don't want you calm and kumbaya. There's a tiger.
Yeah, the tiger's gonna come get me if I don't write this poem today. No.
Exactly. That's a real tiger.
Yeah. So we've got all these great words, and we've added a couple now that we've gone through it, which is exactly what I think I do. And so I think the next step usually is, I look back at kind of my list of ideas, and I just start wondering about them. And maybe even taking a step further back. Yeah, like marinating with it. I like that. My brain marinates. It's a lot of fun to say that, I think.
Yeah, it is.
But I'm glad you agree. So we're talking about breaking down big goals. And I think probably to go back to the previous chapter, it's like even making those cosmic goals, or even maybe it was earlier in the chapter because of the poem I wrote initially for this chapter about cosmic goals. So I'm wondering if, I hate to start it the same as the other one, or maybe starting it similarly, asking a question, what are my cosmic goals? Okay, so that's actually really interesting, right? What are my cosmic goals? Are they too big? Maybe are they too scary? What if they aren't? What if they are worthy and ideal? Yeah, go ahead.
What taking over your role here, but I just had a thought. What are my cosmic goals? Will I sustain them, or can they sustain me?
will I sustain them, or will they sustain me?
Maybe no, or maybe it's just two questions. Will I sustain them?
Okay.
Can they sustain me?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I could see that. What if we change it to how will they sustain me?
Yeah.
Because I think with the how will they sustain me, hold on, I'm just trying to put this in at the same time. There's I like the positive assumption that if I'm saying how will they, then the assumption is already built in that somehow they're going to sustain me. I just don't know how yet.
Yeah. They will sustain me if they're the wrong goals. Yeah,
so I'm wondering, okay, so here's
the right goals.
Right. So I'm kind of looking at this and I'm going, okay, let me read through this again. So right now it says, what are my cosmic goals? Will I sustain them? How will they sustain me? Are they too big? Are they too scary? What if they are worthy, ideal? So I'm wondering if we need to move, will I sustain them? And how will they sustain me under, are they too scary? Or are they too big?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move those.
You're probably mirroring the journey of the psychology or the mental reaction of, which is cosmic goal, scary. Oh my God, that sounds very big. The emotions almost of the reader.
Right. Yeah. And I think we're going to add, I want to add another how in there because we have, will I sustain them? I'm going to say, how will I sustain them? And then how will they sustain me? Just to really point out, because it's after scary that there's this fear that they won't sustain me, which is a problem. Right? Like, they're so big that maybe I'm going to feel crushed. How will I sustain them? Might I feel crushed? Why don't I add in that feeling? Crushed.
A lot of times people do feel crushed if they don't achieve something. Reviewing, evaluating, learning. Why didn't I achieve that properly?
Right. Yeah, like, why didn't I achieve that? I should have achieved that. It gets really easy to... So we actually might want to talk about that in the poem later.
Or, even like what Bruce Lee said, like, a point of a goal is not achieve it per se, which sounds very counterproductive. It's towards the goal. So my goal is, karate kicks today. Maybe I did only 100 today. Maybe I did 150 the next day. Maybe I went back to 200. Now I did 250. Now I did 150. Maybe the consistency wasn't there in the start, but it didn't mean, oh, you failed today, or you overdid it today. You did 250. How dare you? It's like, it's like the water moving down the mountain. It's moving. Oh, there's a rock. Okay, I can't get past this 200. Let me. Well, I'm misquoting him, but it's something like, how to move you. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I added after, what if they are worthy, ideal? What happens if my goal is just my guidepost?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or just my guide. Oh, my guide. For a guide. Coach, mentor.
Or my guide.
Faith.
What if my goal? What happens if my goal is my guide?
Ooh, and that's right.
Okay. Okay, so let me go back to my words here.
Hit me.
Let's see. Am I type feel crushed? Let's see. We've got quantify. We haven't said anything about quantifying or qualifying. So, but we just hit the what happens if my goal is my guide. So maybe let's see. My goal, the goal will quantify let's see. Well, the goal will quantify my steps. The goal, it will qualify them. By pointing me in the right direction. Okay. And we'll have certainty of action and easier decisions, maybe?
Yeah. Will quantify the steps.
What was that?
Or my steps will quantify. What about my steps quantify the goal? Or something else? Yeah. And,
yeah, my steps will quantify the goal.
Something like staying the course, which is what you're saying. Like it will, yeah. So stay the course. I don't know, it must have been from a sailor one. Stay the course, laddie.
My steps will quantify the goal. My steps will quantify the. I like the stay the course. Reminding me.
Ladies and gentlemen,
stay
this
the
is
course.
Angela
And I like that you said it.
Live, creating a poem.
Yeah, this is very interesting using Okay, so my steps will quantify my goal, reminding me, stay the course. It will qualify them by pointing in the right direction. Nope, we're going to take that out.
Cut that.
Hang on just a second. I will have certainty of action. Maybe my decisions easier. Having a sense of my decisions easier because they have a sense of importance, maybe?
Because I fuel them with a sense of importance.
My decisions easier as they are fueled. See, you're being the other part of my brain right now.
Double marinade.
It's fantastic. But it's also helping me verbalize the process, which I have not ever done.
It's so cool.
Let's see. The next words were even stress can be important. I'm not sure if we need that.
Don't stress out, dog.
Yeah, I could just put that in there. Don't stress, dog. Let's see what it looks like. We'll just add it and we can take it out later. Sometimes that's what I do. I'm not kidding. So that would be the DAWG, dog.
Yes, dog. Yeah.
Let's see. Don't stress, dog. Even stress is valuable.
Yeah, that's huge. Stress. Lobotomize their personality and emotion.
How could you think you wouldn't reach this goal, or you would reach this goal without stress?
That was a nervous laugh.
Okay. So nothing's gonna come, and then there it is. Okay, so impermanence is real. Permanence is real. Stay curious. I'm gonna say stay curious, dog. Remain active. The wave of success comes out of nowhere, or comes seemingly out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's more punching against the wall than all of a sudden. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what we got. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, reveal. Gentlemen.
Well, this is our first read through, so we'll see if we want to move some stuff around and change it. You know, like I usually sit with a poem for a while. So here it is. It says, what are my cosmic goals? Are they too big? Are they too scary? How will I sustain them? Might I feel crushed? How will they sustain me? What if they are worthy? Ideal. What happens if my goal is my guide? My steps will quantify my goal, reminding me, stay the course, stay the course. I will have certainty of action. My decisions easier as they are fueled with a sense of importance. Don't stress, dog. Even stress is valuable. How could you think you would reach this goal without stress? Impermanence is real. Stay curious, dogs. Remain active. The wave of success comes seemingly out of nowhere.
I like it. So can you go back to the start quickly?
Yeah. What are my cosmic goals? Are they too big? You tell me when to stop. Are they too big? Are they too scary? How will I sustain them? Might I feel crushed? Maybe, oh, you know what? The next one should be, will they sustain me? Not how will they sustain me? Maybe. Hold on. See, verbalizing this is hard.
You speak it out.
Might I feel crushed? How will I sustain them? I think might I feel crushed needs to come out. What are your thoughts? I think so.
Yeah, it's probably something that they might be thinking that you don't need to say.
Yeah, let's read it without it. Let's see what happens if I read it without it. What are my cosmic goals? Are they too big? Are they too scary? How will I sustain them? How will they sustain me? What if they are worthy? Ideal. Yeah, I think might I feel crushed needs to come out. What I'm taking it out.
No, yeah.
Done.
Yep. Done.
Okay.
Slice it.
So we'll do it again. So what are my cosmic goals? Are they too big? Are they too scary? How will they sustain them? How will they sustain me? What if they're worthy? Ideal. What happens if my goal is my guide?
Maybe
my step.
Go ahead. They are my, what if like what if they are worthy ideals?
What if they are my worthy ideals? I'm going to add a different line there. Okay. So what are my cosmic goals? Are they too big? Are they too scary? How will I sustain them? How will they sustain me? What if they are my worthy ideals? What happens if my goal is my guide? My steps will quantify my goal, reminding me, stay the course, stay the course. I will have certainty of action, my decisions easier, as they are fueled with a sense of importance. Don't stress, dog. Even stress is valuable. How could you think you would reach this goal without stress? Impermanence is real. Stay curious, dogs. Remain active. The wave of success comes seemingly out of nowhere. I just like how like when I get to don't stress, dog. I love that part.
In your voice, it is spectacular. That's hilarious. I love it. That's good.
Well, it's because I think what I'm finding joy in the don't stress, dog is like, that's part of my attitude in life. Like, come on, dude, don't stress, man. Like, it's all good. We're just gonna stay the course, I was witnessing this in someone yesterday when they were getting themselves all worked up, and then everything that they touched was stressing them out, right? And it's like that emotion came up.
Out.
Yeah, and I was like, that has been me before. Sometimes I'm sure it still is, and I don't even realize it, right? And I'm like, and I'm thinking, wow, this, like, the phone calls had to happen regardless. The things needed to happen regardless. And this poor person, I'm just looking, going, oh, it doesn't have to be so miserable. This experience doesn't have to be as miserable as it is.
On the mics.
Huh?
Don't stress, dog.
Well, but what do you do? You're trying to get your goals done, right? And that emotion sneaks up on you. And all of a sudden, before you know it, you're yelling at everyone. And then even when you step away, it's almost like sometimes that emotional grab, at least for me, it'll grab me and it'll almost hold me there. Like I have to stay in that frustration, or it's almost like it holds me instead of me holding it.
Yeah. It's this reminds me of something I heard just the other day. It was something doomsday, and it was like the guy was talking about, like, I wonder if dooms, like, talk for people, like announcing every single doomsday that this is going to take place, that never takes place. But I wonder if there's like a sense out of, hey, it's doomsday, and so gives them, I guess, in their mind, a worthy ideal, and then like everyone, like, always talking about a doomsday. Your political side is, and actually a lot of the threat here of doomsday to say, hey, vote for me, I'll protect you from this doomsday. Like, it doesn't matter what side of the fence you are, what your background is, every area, every culture, every part of like, you have a group of them really into narrative. And so almost how you said there, this experience doesn't need to be survived without a lot, because it's like sometimes you look at people, you're like, man, like you're so heavy, and you're bringing a lot of pain voluntarily into your life, and you bring into your life, then you have the pain of doomsday, you have the pain of this, you have the pain of that, it's almost like that hole inside of you. You need to feel it with something terrible. Like you said, I just think that was so powerful. This experience doesn't have to be like, that's like that lift of a weight of something. You don't have to keep suffering. I know that's what you've received in the past. I know you've had the trauma. I know you've had these experiences in the past. I know when you went to this professional and this specialist tell me, yeah, no, you'll keep suffering. Yeah, no, like for the rest of your life, you're going to keep suffering with this. You'll keep, yeah, no, your life, let's feed. And going, what the hell? Like, who died and makes, it's like, that is not inspiring or uplifting or anything. If I had you there and saying this experience doesn't have to be so miserable, it would have just lifted me just a touch to look over the hill a little bit.
Right. But I think sometimes when you grow up, or you know, depending on nature versus nurture and things like that, that you may not know any better, right? Like those feelings may be just what happens, and you can't, not you, but like for me, like when I was first learning, you know, newer, healthier behaviors, you know, that sense of weird, uncomfortable, and awkward actually came to be. So the very first time I was in the middle of a really tough situation, and I remember feeling joy, and I remember consciously going, like, this thought process came to mind, and it was like, "Oh, can I feel joy right now, or am I betraying my what's happening?" Like, these horrible things were happening, and yes, they were horrible. It didn't change the fact that it was a long-term thing that was happening, and I learned that in that long-term struggle, that then I was able to have joy, and it wasn't a betrayal of the trauma. So I think too, I mean, we're looking at, you know, sometimes that stress is just what we know in that moment.
Yeah. Powerful. I think that's powerful. That's a powerful place to end it, I reckon. If you have to.
Okay.
Well, or I guess we like with an exercise of like that, because lots of people have trauma, lots of people are suffering, lots of people are more than ever suffering in the head, fears of all sorts, you know. These major companies, Google and on, let go of so many employees, and you know, is AI going to take? You know, it's amazing when you hear the dialogue. And that question, I just like to, I don't know, maybe the homework can be pose this question to 3 people at the right moment, and you'll know in the right, or maybe like, you know, like the statement, like, hey, you know, look, this is so miserable. You know?
Yeah.
And maybe that's where the idea of the washing their clothes in the river for like 2 days on end, and freaking a cow died in the river, and then they're all so depressed, and then someone goes, hey, this experience doesn't have to be so miserable. It's not a machine. I don't know, but just those sorts of questions, they're thought-provoking, saying, hey, you don't have to swirl in your mess endlessly. You can rise.
Yeah, maybe something to the effect of like, what am I choosing the suffering?
Yes.
Or am I choosing the joy? And is it possible, you know, I think really that's coming to checking at that. How possible is it? Or when was the last time I chose joy in the midst of a struggle?
Yes.
And what did that look like? Because we've all done it at some point in our lives. It's just when was that moment, and what did it look like?
Yeah. Ask those questions. Ask those questions. You make it very neat. Grab somebody by the ear and say, this experience doesn't have to be so miserable. And you're like, ask these gentle questions. It's good.
Yeah. Well, it's true. Have you ever made a change because someone said, you need to find a way to no, if anything, at least for me, I'm backpedaling. Like when somebody comes at me, well, you need to find joy in this. Okay, fine. You know what? You go ahead, have at it, because I'm not seeing it right now. You know?
Yeah, that my grandmother used to say, like, you know, you've got like, you know, 4 other digits pointing back at you. I think though it will help me out by just saying, like, almost like, listen to yourself, man. Listen, do you sit in this shit all day long? do you swelter in the all day long? Like, you know,
yeah,
like, that sort of thing, like, kind of just really show, like, and you'll see people, they're not talking at you. I mean, they're not talking to you, they're talking at you. There's no dialogue, there's no back and forth. There's this thing in there, and just, it's like, almost, it's like, how do you just, hey, yeah, hey, lady,
yeah.
like, are you hearing yourself? I've been telling you something for the next last week, you're just swirling, you know, and so
Yeah.
I think sometimes that just little prompt of, like, are you hearing yourself right now? You know, like, do you like this person? Do you like this Mona? Like, or do you like that resilient person? Chance, but anyway.
Yeah, it's helping them find it. So I'm gonna say, don't stress, dog. It'll be fine. Okay, did you want to close this out, or you want me to close this out?
I think you've done a great job today. You can.
I get to close this out. Okay, everybody. This is Kyle Spreedes, author of the bestseller Decide Your Destiny, custodian of the Decide Your Destiny movement. I'm Angela Talent, author of Poems from a Lost Soul, and host of the Relatively Damaged podcast. You can find all our information down in the doobly-doo, and we will be back next week. Peace out. Bye-bye.